The inevitable happened today. The Browns are releasing disgruntled wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. We've been talking about it all week, why it had to happen, why it was going to happen. Odell was an injured underachiever who became an ultimate distraction that went against winning football games. His dad's Instagram video, ripping Baker, was the last straw. Odell wanted out. And all you need to know from GM Andrew Berry's statement is this one line. We just reached a point where it became best as a team that we move forward without Odell. Bam. And it's true. The Browns are better without Odell Beckham Jr. Baker's better without Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr. simply isn't worth the headache. After Thursday night, he now ranks 129th in catches this year. Rank everyone who's caught passes this year. He's 129th, 129, has 17 catches. He hasn't scored a touchdown. So good luck to whatever team brings him in. Look, I bet it's the Saints. I bet Sean Payton says, all right, we need him after Michael Thomas not going to play it down for us. But let me stress this. I would never sign him. I would never touch him. The Giants had enough of his nonsense. The Browns had enough of his nonsense. The quarterback and the team better without him. The numbers and the fields, absolutely indisputable. On Mayfield, the Browns being better without Odell. But look, don't look at this week as proof to that point. It's a bad matchup for Cleveland. Cincinnati has the Browns at home. In the game of the week, and it's on the NFL on CBS, Joe Burrow is better than Baker Mayfield, and it's not even close. Burrow and Jamar Chase are going to feast on a defense for Cleveland that has underachieved all year. Burrow and company are going to be salty after the inexplicable loss to the Jets last week. And unlike the Browns, Cincy's focus has been all ball leading up to this huge game. So that's one final unfortunate parting gift. Beckham leaves the Browns. I love Cleveland kicking Odell out. He didn't want to be there and he hurt the team's chances of winning. But I love Cincy this weekend. There is a lot to unpack here. First of all, when you hear Aaron Rodgers talk to Pat McAfee on SiriusXM's Mad Dog Sports Radio, it's abundantly clear he thinks he did nothing wrong. I vehemently disagree with Aaron Rodgers. It's pretty obvious he did everything wrong. Rules are rules. Protocols are protocols. Science is science. Now, Rodgers feels that his answer when he said he was immunized, when he was asked if he was vaccinated before the season, was truthful and not misleading. I vehemently disagree with Rodgers. He didn't correct anyone. He used that word on purpose. And the follow-up conversation after that answer that he was vaccinated was all about Aaron Rodgers vaccinated. That was a news story. We talked about it. Everyone talked about it. He didn't deny it, debunk it, change it. He's not vaccinated. So that word choice, immunized, during that press conference was on purpose. Rodgers also went on to call out some of the NFL's protocols that he thought were not based on science. I'm going to roll and side with science here and not the research that Aaron Rodgers talked about. And there's also this, and this is important. Aaron Rodgers is a player rep for the NFL Players Association, and the NFLPA agreed on all these protocols. He knows that as an unvaccinated ball player, you must wear a mask in press conferences. You're entitled to disagree with it for all the wrong reasons, but it's rightfully in place for health and safety protocols for everybody else in the room. I expect Rodgers and the Packers to be fined for violating protocols. I don't think a suspension is coming, but a fine would make sense after hearing Rodgers talk today. And the reason I don't think a suspension is coming is because the Packers knew. The NFL knew. Everyone knew Rodgers' vaccination status, and they watched him give those press conferences all season when he didn't wear a mask. From a football standpoint, Rodgers reiterated he's feeling good, but did have some symptoms on Tuesday night, and then obviously tested positive. Rodgers is first eligible to come off the COVID reserve list a week from Saturday, one day before the Packers match up with the Seahawks on CBS. I am very, very disappointed how we got here. This is a terrible look for Aaron Rodgers, and everyone knows this is not the end. Dak Prescott going to be back under center for the Cowboys on Sunday, so love or loathe, Dak will be terrific. Love. Absolutely love. With everything going on with the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys, now in my opinion, based upon talent, quarterback, schedule, they are the team most likely to get the 1 seed. Dak is going to dominate. I love that Dallas smartly held him out last week. Jonathan Taylor, unstoppable last night against the Jets, 172 yards, couple touchdowns. So Taylor, best running back in the NFL. Love. We told you last night to take the over on his rushing yards prop. Listen, now with Derrick Henry out for the year, this to me is not even remotely close or up for debate. Jonathan Taylor, the ultimate blend of power and speed. We begged Miami and Kansas City to take him in round 1. What a pick by the Colts in round 2 in the 2020 draft. Jonathan Taylor, now elite. Carson Wentz played 100% of the snaps last night in a blowout, which is notable because the Eagles get the Colts' first-round pick in 2022 if Wentz plays 75% of the snaps this year or plays 70% of the snaps and the Colts make the playoffs. So, love or loathe, the Colts should sit Wentz to impact the draft. Loathe, I despise it. By the way, notice the Jets came back last night, and even though I don't think the Colts have a chance of winning the division, they can still make the playoffs via the wild card. It's like Herman Edwards once said, you play to win the game, and I understand draft position, why it matters, but of course you keep playing Carson Wentz. It matters short-term and big picture. Love or loathe, the Lakers are fine. Loathe with an asterisk, because ultimately, yes, they're going to be fine, but right now, what a disaster. The Lakers lost again to OKC. OKC 0-6 against everyone else, 2-0 against the Lakers. The Lakers in the 2 losses, they blew a 19-point lead last night, 26-point lead in the first game. Are you kidding me? It's completely unacceptable. It's hot garbage. They were outscored in the fourth quarter by 11 and shot 29% from the field. What a disgrace. Terrible look for the LA Lakers. Time to pick everything on a Friday. Starting the NFL, we got some props for you. Love my guy Alvin Kamara to have a big game against the Falcons and go over his rushing total, 75.5 yards. How about my guy Lamar Jackson? 305.5. That's the number. Passing, rushing combined. Are you kidding me? Giving me the over against a bad Minnesota Vikings defense. To college, where my Cincinnati Bearcats are going to take out their frustrations on Tulsa this weekend and cover that 22.5-point spread. And finally, huge SEC matchup on CBS. Auburn visiting Texas A&M. Give me the Aggies by a touchdown. Time right now to keep rolling with the picks. Take your pick for the National Football League and a great Week 8 of picks from my guy, the great Will Brinson. He's closer. He's catching up in the overall standings. We both nailed the Colts last night, even though it was close at the end. But how about Will Brinson? More importantly than his great week of picks, congratulations to Will Brinson, the Atlanta Braves winning the World Series. So, Will, great job. Know how much you love your Braves. And let's get to the games this week. Starting with a great one on CBS. Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers, favored by 1.5 on the road, taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Will Brinson, take your pick.
Some injuries that popped up on the report on Friday. I think Asante Samuel Jr. may be out of this one. That's a little concerning. But I really like the Chargers in this spot, Adam. The Eagles, people are getting caught by recency bias here. They remember that the Chargers lost their last 2 games against the Patriots and the Ravens, before and after the bye. They're looking at the Eagles. Oh, the Eagles went in and smashed the Lions. They hung a 40 burger on the Lions. Anybody can hang a 40 burger on the Lions. Justin Herbert is going to launch bombs all over the place in Philly, throwing touchdowns across a very tattered secondary. I think the Chargers to roll in this one. One of my favorite bets of the entire weekend.
Yeah, well, we're sharing a brain on this one, and I don't understand it, but there is recency bias. And look, you hit it. I mean, the Chargers have not looked great in their last 2 games, but we're talking Baltimore and New England. We're talking about 2 of the best coaching staffs in the National Football League. And I think Herbert gets back to his MVP form. He has a monster game. I think Eckler has an incredible game, running it, catching it out of the backfield. And listen, the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni, absolute mess. I mean, Brandon Staley, Nick Sirianni. This is not a fair fight in terms of the coaching matchup. One studies analytics, the other plays rocks, paper, scissors. I'm going to roll big time here with the LA Chargers. Another interesting game and point spread on Sunday, Will Brinson. The Arizona Cardinals getting 1.5 points, heading to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. Will Brinson, take a pick.
Oh, I love the Niners here. My Niners in this spot. And I got to tell you, if you can find this game to wager your hard-earned money legally on, of course, you should wager on the 49ers now. It looks like DeAndre Hopkins might not be available for this game, and it is entirely possible, and I think even likely, that Kyler Murray ultimately misses this game. And look, the line is still up there at 1.5 in a lot of spots, 49ers. If you want to get on the 49ers, you need to get on them now. You'd have a window to take them coming back. I mean, I'd love to give you a bunch of analysis about how the run game, the run defense struggles now with J.J. Watt missing for the season, and that the 49ers will get things going with that stout offensive line, which I do think will happen. But again, no Kyler Murray, this line's like 6 or 7, so give me the 1.5 all day long.
I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals, and I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray to win. Now, listen, if he doesn't play, we could have a different conversation. But obviously, you take a look at what happened last week, and this is going to be a salty team. And in their minds, they had a golden opportunity to beat the Green Bay Packers. And, look, I think that Jimmy Garoppolo, who played well against Chicago, he's simply not that good. Arizona's still going to have most of their dudes on defense. Give me the Cardinals to keep the momentum rolling that they've established in the first half of the season. They want to make sure that last Thursday was a blip as opposed to a trend. I am rolling here with the Arizona Cardinals. Simply put, they're better. We talked extensively to start the show about Aaron Rodgers, who will not be available Sunday when the Packers take on the Kansas City Chiefs. It's Jordan Love versus Kansas City in Kansas City, with Kansas City favored by 7. Will Brinson, take a pick.
I like to do a lot of research when I make these picks, Adam. I don't want to come in here blind. Certainly want to, look up analytics, look up the trends, get the best advice. And for this particular game, I thought, who better to check with than Joe Rogan and his magical podcast? And he loves the Packers in this spot. So give me the Packers +7. I do think that Aaron Rodgers is worth a ton to the spread. Don't get me wrong. We saw this line was Chiefs -3. Then they looked terrible against the Giants. It was Packers -1. Then Rodgers is out. It's Chiefs -7. I think that's just a bit too much of an overcorrection. Jordan Love had some really nice reps in the preseason. He's going to be motivated to go out there and throw the ball around, play well. They'll be able to run the football easily and effectively with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon against a terrible Chiefs defense. And I think that the Packers, even without Rodgers, have the sort of formula, the sort of roster, the sort of defensive approach where they can stymie Patrick Mahomes enough to keep it within a touchdown.
Well, I'm taking the Packers as well. And at the end of the day, I think this is really about the Chiefs. I thought the Chiefs looked terrible once again, albeit a win against the Giants, but that was the only good news, the final score. I mean, Patrick Mahomes was terrible. Travis Kelce was terrible. The O-line is not any good. The defense, Chris Jones played well, but that is certainly a very beatable defense. And listen, never in a million years would I have picked Jordan Love. I'm on record screaming that. I would have picked Michael Pittman, scored another touchdown, by the way, last night. But let me tell you something. I think Love should be good. If he's a real first-round pick worth his salt, and I don't think that he was, I would not have picked the Packers or anyone else in the first round through too many picks. In my opinion, in college, I would not have picked them in round one. But listen, Devontae Adams is going to play. Aaron Jones, phenomenal matchup. A.J. Dillon, phenomenal matchup. I think Green Bay with Matt LaFleur will be able to hang with Kansas City. Everybody hangs with Kansas City. Take a look at the rest of our picks for week number 9 in the National Football League. And I got into why I love the Cincinnati Bengals earlier in the show. Will Brinson rolling with the Cleveland Browns. We agree on every other pick that was on the screen. We're both rolling with the Buffalo Bills. I don't like my Dolphins pick, and I do love Tyrod Taylor. You guys know that. But at the end of the day, the Texans are just hot garbage. I love the Raiders to win by 10 points. Will Brinson and I disagree on that one, and we disagree on Monday Night Football.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell for more videos.